One question that I want to talk about before we leave. So you've learned all the information you need at this point to do your formative, but I know this is an important question that comes up, so I'd appreciate it if you watched this last part. When do we use this stuff, right? When is math useful? A lot of people say, when, math doesn't seem to apply to anything that I do in life. I like to read, but what am I going to use this math for? It doesn't seem all that important to me. And so one example that I want to use is this number right here. So take a look at this number. It's 100 plus 50, a grouping, times 2 the power of 2 times 1. So this is tricky, right? So we have a 2 times 1 inside of the exponent. So this is really a strange number. But in the real world, interest rates for loans use formulas that give you numbers that look like this. Okay, so this is a real world example where you would see this number because it represents different things that go into getting a loan. Okay, so when you get a loan, when a bank gives you a loan, they hand you some money, but since they did the favor of giving you some money, you have to pay them back some extra money on top of that. Uh, and how they figure out how much money that you're going to pay them back, they use formulas that give you numbers that look like this. Okay, so in this example right here, we're going to say Mr. K wants to start a lemonade stand, but he has no money, so he goes to a bank. Okay, so he wants to get some money from the bank to start a lemonade stand. Mr. K needs $100 for lemons, $50 for sugar, but he doesn't have any money, so he has to take out money from the bank. So this 100 for lemons is represented right here. This 50 for sugar is represented right here. And he also wants to pay the loan off in 1 year, right? So this 1 right here represents the 1 year that it will take him to pay back the loan. And then, here, hold on, I'll wait for that thing to go away. The bank charges him interest with a value of 2, right? So this 2 right here in this equation, or excuse me, not equation, in this number, 2 comes from the interest value. So this represents 200%, which is, if you talk to if you talk to anybody about this, you'll know that that's a horrible interest rate. That's a really high interest rate, and that's bank's going to make a lot of money off you, so that's not good. And the reason we know that is because we can calculate how much money Mr. K is going to have to pay back to the bank using this formula. So this is going to tell us how much money Mr. K has to pay back to the bank. And lucky for you, you know how to use GEMS to figure out what this number is. Okay, so this is the same number I just pulled from the last slide. I have 100 plus 50 times 2 to the power of 2 times 1. So I know that the first thing that I have to do is the grouping, which is inside of the parentheses. So I do 100 plus 50. That turns into 150 right here. And then everything else stays the same, times 2 to the power of 2 times 1. So times 2 to the power of 2 times 1. So this 100 plus 50 turned into 150. And then now I have 150 times 2 to the power of 2 times 1. So now I need to do my exponent, right? So I did my G groupings. Now I need to go to E in GEMS for exponents. So I have 2 to the power of 2 times 1. But see, my exponent is tricky, right? Because I have a multiplication problem inside of my exponent, so I should make sure to take care of that right now. Okay, so this 2 times 1, we know that's equal to 2, right? Any number times 1 is equal to 2. Excuse me. Any number times 1 is equal to itself. Sorry about that mistake. Any number times 1 is equal to itself. So 2 times 1 is equal to 2. So now I have 150 times 2 to the power of 2. Well, 2 to the power of 2, I know that that's just equal to 2 times 2, which is 4, right? So I can take this 2 to the power of 2, I can rewrite that as 4. Okay, so now I'm left with 150 times 4. Okay, And if you don't know that off the top of your head, you can check it with a calculator, but 150 times 4 equals $600. So Mr. K would take out $150. He would take out $100 for the lemons, $50 for the sugar. He would have to pay back the bank $600 because they charged him a really high interest rate. And why is that important? Because you might find yourself at a point in time where you have to take out a loan for something. It could be a car, it could be a house, it could be your education, it could be all kinds of things. And it's important to know how you're setting yourself up for your future. Are you getting the best interest rate that you could? Are you going to have to pay extra money to people because you were unable to do the math to figure out how much money it was going to cost you at the end of it? Mathematics is a lot about having control over your own life and knowing what is true and what is best for you, regardless of what other people might tell you, right? It's about knowing the truth and not being afraid of uh, being uh, sort of taken advantage of, because the world is, I mean, I truly do believe the world is a wonderful place, but sometimes there are people in the world who want to take advantage of you, take more money from you than they actually need to. And it's important to know the math you need to stand your ground and say, look, I'm confident, I understand this, and I know that each and every one of you are able to do this and deserve to have that level of control, that level of power, and that level of confidence over your own life. Okay, so this is why this is really, really important. I know you all are going to do wonderful with this math and with your lives as a whole. So I want to make sure we are connecting the two as much as we can. So good luck in this formative. Good luck with the rest of this class, and have a great day.